Hello and welcome to IWCTV NOW Music with me, Alice Smith, the show that focuses on music across the island. Today on the show we are joined by Alex Welsford, DJ and organiser of Pressures, and Pete Holden, organiser of Rhythm Tree. Later on, Dreamer Joe will be dropping by to talk about their music and the struggles that island bands face due to the small stretch of water. But first, we're going to be catching up with Lewis Rich, who is visiting different festival sites around the island.
It was right here in Freshwater that one of the most iconic moments in music history took place, the famous Isle of Wight festival of 1970. Legendary artists such as Jimi Hendrix, The Doors, The Who, Jethro Tull and many more took to one single stage and performed for a crowd of over 600,000. Due to the sheer amount of people that attended the event, the council imposed a ban on large gatherings similar to this because of the hassle and chaos that the festival caused. It was the end of an era.
Or so people thought until 2003 when John Giddings, a music agent and promoter, decided to revive the festival back to its former stature. It was held here at Seaclose Park in Newport, and since then it has become one of the biggest festivals in the UK and has even inspired a variety of different festivals around the island, tailored for different tastes, including Bestival, another well-established festival on the island. Bestival began back in 2003 when acclaimed DJ robbed the bank and his wife Josie chose the island to host the first edition of Bestival.
Other island festivals that have also popped up in recent years include Ventnor Fringe, a pop-up festival that showcases all forms of art from comedy to music. It was created by a group of students back in 2010. VW Island has also gained popularity and is dedicated wholly to Volkswagen vehicles, music and a good time. And finally, Rhythm Tree is a family-friendly festival that shows what the local island music scene has to offer, as well as acts from the rest of the UK and beyond.
Here with me now are Alex and Pete. Welcome to the show. Now, I've been to both of your events and I think they're both equally great. But starting with Pete, what would you say sets your event apart from all the others?
I think with Rhythm Tree, it's small and accessible, which is a key thing. And you know, we, as well as having lots of island acts play, we bring artists from throughout the UK and beyond. And really, I think there's very few festivals in the country that have the same mix of music as Rhythm Tree. We're an open book. So there's the appeal of people coming to the festival for artists they know, and whilst they're there, getting to discover loads of new stuff. Yeah. And then there's the ability, I mean, it's a beautiful site, it's a beautiful place, assuming the sun shines, which it does most years. It's a lovely place to spend the weekend, and it's really easy to either come and camp or just come and go off the site as you fancy, really.
Yeah. What about you, Alex?
I think the thing that kind of sets Pressure apart from other kind of more local, smaller events on the island is the fact that it's kind of the only monthly event that happens here. And, you know, the same as Rhythm Tree, we kind of like to source a lot of our artists locally, but then invest in like a big name headline act. So.
Yeah. And when did you first start organising events?
Well, I've been doing it for 35 years, I'm almost ashamed to say, since the late 70s, really. I've started working on festivals in the early 80s, all over the place. I worked a lot as a stage manager as well as an agent and event producer. So I was stage manager at Glastonbury, stage 2 at Glastonbury in the early 80s, and numerous other events all around the country and in London. And then I worked full-time for the WOMAD Festival in its early years in the late 80s. And my job there was producing festivals for WOMAD, involved in the UK ones, but primarily taking WOMAD outside of the UK and producing festivals in Europe and Canada and the States and all over. So it's kind of what I've done throughout my adult working life, really.
What about you, Alex?
We're the new kids on the block. We've only been doing it since May last year.
Oh, yeah.
So still just starting out.
What made you want to start organising events?
It just came to me. You know, as a teenager, I was a music lover. I'm of I was 16, 17 at the time of punk, and that was kind of big news to me and very involved in that. But I just thought I want, you know, to do something with music. I had no idea at the time. There was nothing like this. There was no courses to learn anything about the production side of music or anything. So my ambition at the time was really to be a music journalist, but that didn't happen, and I ended up moving to Southampton for family reasons, and just kind of falling in, getting involved with local bands in Southampton. And I was the one that didn't play anything, so I kind of did everything else, and it just kind of grew from there. Really, there was no career plan or anything, and there never has been.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, there's always been quite a lot of representation on the island for kind of bands and live acts, but we didn't feel like there was that much for DJs and electronic music. So we kind of decided to set pressure up just to kind of fill the vacuum a little bit, just fill the space. We felt like we had a niche market, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it hard to organise like these events?
Yes and no. I mean, all of us who do it pretty much do it for the love of it, even when you're at the high end of, equivalent of Isle of Wight Festival and Festival. I mean, people like John Giddings, they clearly do it for the love of it as well as making a healthy income out of it. There was a recent survey that said event organising was the 5th most stressful job in the world. I saw it came up on my Facebook page a couple of weeks ago, and I can believe that in a sense, because there's so many disparate factors, so many elements that you have to draw together, and at the same time, as I'm sure you've discovered, Alex, there's so many elements that are outside of your control. Particularly when you're bringing artists from all over the place, there's all the travel and that, and being on an island is another factor. It's a plus and a negative. And of course, anyone involved in the UK in producing an outdoor summer festival is at the mercy of the weather. And I think the stress levels of watching the weather forecasts in the run-up to a festival are pretty high. And actually, the danger period is not so much what happens at the weekend. Once you're up and running, you go with whatever happens. It's more that if the weather's really poor for a consistent period in advance. I mean, Rhythm had this problem in 2012 before my involvement, and the Isle of Wight Festival suffered from this as well, that when the ground becomes so waterlogged before people arrive, that then the big arrival causes the trouble. So I think it's perhaps less stressful in a sense to be indoors. But I try not to lose too much sleep over it.
Yeah, what about you?
Well, it's interesting. You said it's easier to be indoors, but I think on the island you can count the amount of nightclubs that there are on your hand.
Yeah.
So for us, our biggest challenge was just finding venues, finding a suitable place to actually put the event on. Yeah. So once we got past that, just the general stresses of the job are just.
Yeah.
I'd agree with Alex about the venue problem, because I promote gigs separately, and I'd like to do a lot more, but there's some smaller spaces, but there's a lack of spaces of the kind of size that I need to be able to really make things happen.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us today. It's been great hearing your views. Lewis Rich is at the Black Sheep Bar in Ryde to discuss island music there and how it plays a big part in their business.
Ryde is home to many different music venues which all showcase some of the island's best local talent. The Black Sheep is one of these venues and features a wide variety of young musicians that play here on a regular basis. As well as live performances, they also offer competitions for the musicians in order to create more opportunities and to bring in more business.
Why is it important for you to have bands come into the pub?
I think it brings a lot of people out to listen to island music. There's quite a lot of musical talent on the island that no one really sort of gets to see or hear all the time. So we, as a music venue, like to put on music so people can just come down, have a listen, sociable evening out with friends and family. We've got the Nationals up in London in Putney on the 29th of March, and it's for a band to play main stage. So they all go in for a competition and see who's the best. So we had the Isle of Wight Heats here last night, and then one of them goes through to national finals. So it's just a chance for everyone to come down and see who's going to be playing at the festival as well from the island. So it's quite a nice evening.
Why do you think music is so important to the island?
I think it's important. Obviously we've got two very large music festivals on the island, It's important to get people over here, see what the Isle of Wight is all about, and obviously, like I said, we've got some great musical talent over here that not many people know about, so it's nice for them to be able to come to these festivals and listen to them. So we do a lot of free entry music nights as well, so anyone could come along for the event, and it's just really nice for people to get out, and people don't want to go to the mainland all the time to London or whatever to listen to music that they can listen to down here. So we have different varieties of music, so we've recently just had like Groove Union in that do like covers of bands, they're really good. We have a lot of rock music, we have acoustic singer-songwriters, so we have quite a wide range, so different for people to come down and listen to and whatever they want to, whatever they like, big variety.
As well as the Black Sheep, there are also other venues in the area such as Coburgs who offer a wide range of music nights and tribute bands, and the Marine Bar. Places like this have started to become increasingly popular in the past few years with the growth of music on the island, especially with young people, and hopefully it will continue to stay this way.
Here with me now are Julian Voigt, Toby Jenkins and Curtis Connor from local band Dreamer Joe. First formed in Platform 1, Dreamer Joe have played a number of successful gigs over the past couple of years, and they're going to be performing us out later on the show. But for now, I want to know, what is it like being a band on the island?
Well, it can be quite difficult because it's such a, I guess, small community. So in a way, you've really got to pick out the best places to play and the best, I guess, like days of the week, and also it's all, I guess, a lot about like online presence nowadays. So getting that across to kind of younger people on the island can be difficult sometimes.
Yeah. And was music something that you all three wanted to do from the beginning, or?
Yeah, I think where we all go to the same music college. I mean, me and Julian have been playing together for a couple of years previously, but you know, starting at Platform 1, which is the music college on the Isle of Wight, we met Curtis, which is basically where it all kind of started out. And being solely a music college, I think that's basically what we all kind of want to do with our kind of careers.
Yeah. And
that's basically kind of the basis on which this group kind of formed.
Yeah.
So I think that is, yeah, it is what we all want to do.
Me, as everyone else wants to know, how did your name come about?
Well, we were like, there's always the struggle at the beginning where you're trying to think of a band name which should actually kind of suit the music that we're playing, and sounds a bit, I guess, crap in a way, because I searched up kind of words to do with sleep, like sleeping and stuff like that, and there was a Japanese word called yumazuki.
Yumakezi.
Is it yumakezi?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, yumakezi, and that's a Japanese word, and it means someone who like daydreams a lot or dreams a lot when they sleep, and that translated to Dreamer Joe, and I just thought that sounded quite cool.
Cool, yeah. Curtis, what's the biggest achievement your band has achieved?
Probably playing the main stage at Wight Festival, I think. Or I would say actually, it sounds like really like stupid, but I prefer playing the Platform 1 stage in the tent. I feel like there's a lot more people there. There's like a lot more packed out than the main stage, and I feel like our performance then was a lot better than when we played the main stage. And I think playing that has made us a lot better. I think.
Yeah, it was a good vibe in there.
And do you find it hard to write your own material?
Not
it's
really.
Hard, it's hard finding the time, isn't it?
Yeah, having the time to like do it. But I think as soon as we have an idea, then we can like expand on it quite quickly. But I think getting the time and like I don't know, when you have a deadline to write music, I don't think it's ever as good as it's going to be if you don't. But I think where we haven't really had any deadlines and we can write when we want, it can be quite easy at times.
Yeah. Is there anything that you'd be doing if you weren't making music?
No, probably not. I don't think we're very good at anything else, to be honest.
What bands or artists inspire you guys?
We've been told kind of we've got a lot of kind of sound with like people like Queens of the Stone Age, kind of Nirvana, and even like Led Zeppelin, that kind of thing, that kind of old kind of blues rock blues rock type sound, but then we all kind of individually kind of take influences in the way that we play.
I think
play our instrument as well.
Me and Curtis are quite influenced from like Jack White. I mean, when me and Curtis first met, we went to a Jack White gig, and yeah, we've always both liked Jack White quite a lot. So I think Curtis' guitar playing and perhaps my kind of like singing is quite inspired from that. So yeah, Jack White, but also all the bands that Toby mentioned.
Yeah. Finally, where would you like to see your band in the future?
Just hopefully just kind of getting as much exposure, you know, in as many places as possible, and just being able to kind of like be kind of a household name and actually kind of have a bit of a reputation as like just kind of a hopefully a good like touring band or something along those lines, and just kind of maybe be kind of respected in the music industry,
well,
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us. I wish you all the luck in the future. I'll let you go set up as you're going to play us out. But on next week's show, we're going to be investigating what has happened to all the island's music shops, and also the Ohms will be joining us to talk about their new music and all things about them. But here now to play us out, A Dreamer Joe.
Scream, you can 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 scream,